before we get started, there is one thing in settings that we should probably set. So click File and Settings. And right here we see music file types. And you'll probably just have MP3 and WAV. I've added a few. These are basically the type of song files that are music. So when we go to add new music, it's only going to pick these, and any other file types it'll just ignore. So if you use any others, be sure to add a new type. And you can also, if you make a mistake, you can select one and remove it. Now if we're going to have a library, we're going to have a file to keep all this information in. And we could either add the songs first, and then when we go to save it, it'll ask us what file, or we could define the file ahead of time. So even though we haven't got any songs yet, we could still say new library, and we'll type in my music. I've already done this, so it says overwrite. And now we have our working library file listed right down here. So this mymusic.sml file exists as a legitimate SongMixer library file, even though there's no songs in it. Okay, so now we'd like to add some music. There's actually a couple different ways of doing this. The first way is to just click this button right here, Add Music to Library. If your music is on a CD or a DVD, ROM, or some kind of a offline source where the music's not going to be there at all times, definitely use this method right here that I'm about to show you. I want to browse to the location, and it's actually not on this computer, and it's not on a disk. It's on another computer which is on the network. So I can't find it on this drop down, but I can type the path up here. So if you're familiar at all with local area networks and the paths, you would just type in, let me show you that again, type in 2 backslashes, the name of the computer, or you could type in the IP address of the computer, which would be something like that. I'm not sure that's right, so I'm just going to use the name, and then the name of the file share, and then hit enter. And I must have got it wrong. Oh yeah, that's right. There we go. Now I have all my music in here. So we could just click next, and I want to know, are these files online on a hard drive, or are they offline? Now this is important. If they're, like I said, if they're on a disk, you'll want to say offline, and then you would want to put the name of the disk that they're on, so that when you go to copy the songs and SongMixer can't find the file, it will ask you for this disk by this name, and you'll know which disk it is. In this case, they're kind of online. I mean, it's on another computer, which could be turned off, but that's okay. It's not going to break it. It'll just ask me to turn the computer on. It'll say I can't find this file. So I'm going to say online this time. Click finish. And now it's getting a list of songs. And this could take a while because it's over a network and it's a little slow and there's a couple thousand songs. So I'm going to pause the recording until it's done. Alright, it's got the list and it's analyzing ID3 tags, trying to get information about the artist and the album, song title. And where it cannot fill in the information out of the ID3 tags, it's going to take a guess, and we'll talk more about guesses later on. And we're going to have to go through and refine this information because a lot of it's going to be wrong. So we'll just let this happen, and then I'll move on to showing you the second method for adding songs to the library. Okay, the other method for adding songs to your library is to just open up a Windows Explorer and find the music you want. Go into Amon Tobin, and you can select it and drag it in. Now, don't use this method if this stuff is on a CD, because the files currently exist, and therefore it's going to identify these as online. It's not a big deal if it says online when they're not, but like it'll try to play um, name that tune with them, and it's better that it knows whether or not it's going to be there. And if it is online and you meant to have it be online, or if you burned them onto a disk later and now they're offline when they were online, you can change this, so it's not set in stone. You can also use this method for adding songs to your MP3 player, your mixed disc, or playlist. Also, this method is a little bit limited in that you have to actually drag in actual song files. You can't drag in a folder or a group of folders that contain song files, so that's another thing to keep in mind. You can drag in a library file, an SML file, and it will be basically the same as saying open library, which would give you the option of adding all of the songs in that library to the songs that are already there, or to just close the current library. Also check the order. Windows doesn't really give the program it's dragging the songs into, it doesn't give the songs in the right order sometimes. And so you saw there I had to move two files to get them into the right numbers.